Hello, Tigers, and welcome back to the Ouachita News Show. I'm Lucy Barrera.
And I'm Ryan Ingram. We hope everyone's having a great week. It's Battle of the Ravine week here on campus, and students have been enjoying all the traditions that come along with this week.
That's right, Ryan. The events on campus have been lots of fun, and it has been great seeing students connecting and fellowshipping over the long-lasting rivalry between Ouachita and Henderson.
And with so many students soaking up all those activities that come along with this week, we need to make sure that the weather will hold up for the rest of this week. Weather reporter Peyton Rains has an update for us on what we can expect in the forecast. Peyton?
Hey Tigers, here's a look at the weather for this week. There isn't a huge fluctuation in the temperature from today until the end of the week, with today having a high of 77 and a low of 55. Friday is set to be mostly sunny and very warm with a high of 82 and a low of 58. Now the day of Battle of the Ravine is set to be nice and warm with the sun making an appearance here and there. The high is set to be 77 and the low 56. Now that Sunday is as well set to be pleasantly warm and sunny with a high of 75 and a low of 51. As always, weather predictions are provided by AccuWeather. I'm Peyton Rains, back to the desk.
Thank you, Peyton. It's good to see that the sun will be shining for the game on Saturday. In preparation for Saturday, students have been guarding the Tiger every night this week. This is an event put on by Student Senate, where students gather with their class for fun games, food, and even live music in hopes to keep the Reddies away from our beloved Tiger. On Tuesday, the senior class started this week off strong with one last bash. This Guard the Tiger night included pickleball, ultimate frisbee, a pancake bar, crafts, and even free energy drinks. The juniors followed this night up with the lock-in last night. This event included a bounce house, fun games, and a movie. Tonight is the sophomores' turn, where they will do their Great American Night. This will include games and activities with a Western twist. And finally, on Friday, the freshmen will have their Boot Scootin' bedtime bash.
Also on Friday night, students can participate in the Rally on the Ravine event. This is a night where football players can be recognized through an on-campus pep rally and also a fun bonfire following this. Students can meet in the center of campus where clubs and organizations have tables set up, serving different items for their peers to enjoy. Clubs serve apple cider, chili, hot cocoa, and a bunch more.
But it's not just the Battle of the Ravine that has been keeping students busy here on campus. Our students involved in the theater department finished up their show, Murder on the Orient Express, on Sunday. Ouachita reporter Emmy Thompson got the opportunity to get an inside look at this production. Let's see what she has to say.
Hello Tigers, I'm currently standing outside of Mercer Theater, where our theater department has just put on Murder on the Orient Express. This took place November 6th through 9th. Our theater department has been working so hard to put this on for us. Let's take a look. Murder on the Orient Express took place Thursday, November 6th through Sunday, November 9th, with shows beginning at 7:30 and the Sunday show at 2:30. The cast, crew, and director have spent countless hours on the production. I had the opportunity to sit down with the professor and director John Faulkner for an interview.
My name is Professor John Faulkner. I am the Assistant Professor of Acting here in the Theater Arts Department at OBU, and I am the director of our production of Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. Directing is, in a lot of ways, like putting a big puzzle together. There's a lot of coordinating, there's a lot of planning. As a director, you're always looking ahead to the next thing. The actors are present in the moment, but ultimately what you're trying to do is, as the director, is problem solve. How do we find something that will feel natural and feel right to the actor that will also help us to tell the story in a way that is the most effective?
My name is Erica Johnson. I am a junior speech communications and theater education major, and I play Mrs. Hubbard in Murder on the Orient Express. Mrs. Hubbard is a very loud, brassy, and extravagant middle-aged woman, and she's so much fun. And I think my favorite part about her is how loud she is and how loud I get to be when playing this character. This process was very fast. We started off book and we just kept going, and it was a whirlwind of fun and drama We loved it all, and it's turned out really great.
What I more than anything hope that the audience takes away from this production is not necessarily anything in the text itself, but rather perhaps an appreciation for the amount of work and the artistry and the craftsmanship that has gone into what I consider to be a fairly lavish production for our Little Verser Theater.
I have just finished watching Murder on the Orient Express. The cast did so well, and I'm so excited to see what they produce in the future. I'm Emmy Thompson, back to the desk.
Thank you, Emmy. Our theater department is so talented, and it's very special to see the hard work that goes into making such a wonderful show. Other things happening on campus include the women of Chi Mu hosting Chi Mu ornament painting on the Stew Bridge on Monday. This event happened from 1 to 3 and allowed students to stop by in between classes for fellowship and a great opportunity to get in the Christmas spirit.
Following that event, the women of Tri-Chi had their pop-in event on Wednesday in the Student Center at 11 a.m. Their theme was Cookies and Convos. This event allowed for good conversations with the club members and allowed students to see the character of the club. After they were done with their cookies and conversations, many people stopped by the Gamma Phi Build-A-Button fundraiser that was also happening in the Student Center. This was an event that allowed students to buy good-priced game day buttons, just in time for the big game on Saturday.
And speaking of the big game, we know that our football team isn't the only group of student athletes on campus who are hard at work this week. Let's check in with sports reporter Ella Washington for an update on how our Tiger teams have been doing. Ella?
Thank you, Ryan. To start off the rundown this week, the men and women's cross-country teams closed their season at the NCAA Division Second Regional Championships. There were 5 runners on the women's team that finished the 6K race in under 23 minutes, and the team placed 13th out of 35. Allison Hakalema finished in 34th, followed by Caitlin Nichigal in 58th and Lucy Holden in 80th. The men's team placed 16th out of 30. Caleb Greenwich finished in 44th, followed by Evan Armitage in 80th and Gabriel Matoyer in 94th. The women's soccer team won 3-1 against Harding at the Stevens Soccer Complex. Ouachita outshot Harding 19-14 and used an 8-3 edge in corner kicks. Reese Brown, Maddie Vanna, and McKenna Wright scored some excellent goals, securing the win. The Tigers will play against Southwestern Oklahoma State this Friday. The men's soccer team secured their first win over Southern Nazarene since 2021 with a score of 1-0. Philip Bulk scored the goal of the game, and goalkeeper Dylan Stahl made 4 saves during the game and kept the Crimson Storm from scoring. This game concludes the regular season for the Tigers. In football, the Tigers scored a 42-38 win over Southwestern Oklahoma State with just 90 seconds left on the clock. Jordan Walker made a final pass to Carter McClellaney to bring home the win. Ouachita was dominant at the beginning of the game, but Southwestern Oklahoma State quickly caught up to even the score. This will be Ouachita's 9th straight win over Southwestern Oklahoma State, and Tigers will now be preparing for the 98th Battle of the Ravine this Saturday against Henderson State. Ouachita wrestlers are advancing to the finals on Saturday, and Caden Bird claimed the 197-pound title at the Viking Open. 149-pounder Caleb Andrews and 174-pounder Ethan Day were also runner-ups. Hunter Baber also finished 4th at 165 pounds. The Tigers will be up against William Baptist on Wednesday. To find out more, please be sure to check in with the Ouachita Digital Sports Network. I'm Ella Washington, and this has been Roar Rundown.
Thank you, Ella. It's great to see how our Tiger athletes are excelling, even through the big rivalry week. I know that the men of Rho Sigma have been excelling this week as they camped out every single night to protect our precious Tiger.
That's right, Ryan. The men of Rho Sigma take this Battle of the Ravine tradition very seriously. And that leads to our question of the day. We asked you all, if you could create one Battle of the Ravine tradition, what would it be? Here are some of your responses.
Dre Detmer says, cross out the letter H everywhere on campus.
Hayden Scott says, daily pep rallies.
Samuel Grady says, a march around Henderson's campus like Jericho.
McKinley Melcher says a snowball fight.
If I had to create a tradition, I'd say, what if we just did like the meet at Highway 7 every year and just like, you know, kind of duked it out as far as like just kind of like with everything going on and just kind of like a good friendly fight.
That would be super cool.
Yeah.
I would say I like McKinley's idea with the snowball fight, but I don't really like the cold. And so I would say a Nerf gun fight. I think that would be
That's a good
super
idea.
fun. Well, that's all we have for you today. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Washita News Show and answer each question of the week. You just might see your response pop up on the show.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Washita News Show, so you never miss out on the latest and greatest Washita news. We'll see you next time.